Hello everyone, welcome back to part 6 on how to create a Among Us type game on Roblox. So let's start. Okay, so we're gonna make a emergency meeting system. So add a part. You can make your emergency building look much better than mine. I'm just gonna make it like that. Make sure it's anchored by pressing this anchor button here, and I'm gonna duplicate this part. I'm gonna make it smaller. Make it red and set the material to neon. This should be it, and select your build and press Ctrl G or right click group. Rename it to emergency meeting and add a click detector to our button, our red button. Actually, let me rename this red button to button and add a click detector to it. Click detector. Make the max activation distance to something like 8. Add a script to our button and write script dot parent dot click detector dot click detector dot mouse click connect function player. Now that we've done that, we can add a teleport part. Add a part to our emergency meeting module part. Make it make sure you make it rename it. Firstly, let's rename it to teleport part. Make it transparent. Set the transparency to 1 and can collide to false, and make sure it's anchored. It won't work if it's not anchored, so make sure it's anchored. Let's move it and put it up in the sky a bit, just so the players don't get stuck in the air. So that should be it. Let me center this. And we're gonna create a for loop for I, v in pairs game.players get players do local character. Firstly, let's check if v then local character is equal to v dot character and character dot c-frame. No, character. Let's check if character then character dot humanoid root part dot c-frame is equal to script dot parent dot teleport part dot c-frame. Let's see if that works. It should work. I'm sure that it would work. Starting in 3, 2, 1, 0. You are the imposter. Of course, I'm the imposter. I'm the only player in the game. And as you can see, we can't click the button if you are far. If we click it, we get teleported here. Great. Okay, so now we will make the players can't move. So character dot humanoid dot walk speed is equal to 0, and then we will remove the imposter's sword. We don't want him to be able to kill other players while they're in a emergency meeting. So local sword is equal to v dot no. Before we do that, we're gonna write at the top here local imposter, no, local if the confined first child imposter value, then local sword is equal to v dot character confined first child sword classic sword, or v dot backpack confined first child classic sword. Okay, so we'll set the parent of the sword dot parent is equal to game dot replicate storage, or we can just destroy his sword com destroy let's see if that is working. You are the imposter. We click on this, we can't move. As you can see, I'm pressing WASD and I don't have a sword anymore. So that's working so far. Let's fire a remote event. After looping, go here on the bottom, we're gonna do game.replicate the storage dot, and then we're gonna add a remote event to replicate the storage, rename it to emergency meeting or just emergency. Game.replicate storage dot emergency fire all clients. So we're gonna fire all of the clients in the game, player, and enter our disabled chat local script, which is inside of start GUI, and we're gonna write a game.replicate storage emergency on client event connect function player. Copy this line of code, paste it here, and set this to true. And then we're gonna wait 5 seconds. You don't have to make this 5 seconds, make it like 50 or 60. I'm just gonna make it 5 so the video is not that long. And we're gonna set the start GUI chat to false, paste the line of code, and let me think about this. This should be working. And replicate storage the emergency fire all clients. Let's test it with 2 players. Before we do that, I'm just gonna make this to 2, and let's start a 2-player server. Okay, so the game is starting in 3 seconds. Oh, and I forgot to fix this. I'm gonna fix it right now. As you can see, we can chat, but when we do this, we can chat. We can say red kinda sus, and now the chat disappeared. And actually, let me fix this blue screen. This should be working for you. I just forgot in the last episode to add a text label to my crewmate frame and set the text to you are a crewmate. Okay, so this should be working. Let me just make the round longer, like 30 seconds or something. And let's restart a 2-player server. And also, this error is not from a script. This is from a plugin that I have. I don't know which one, but I have this error in every single game I make, even a base plate that don't have any scripts on it. As you can see, the game is starting, and now the screen fades. And if we just set the emergency meeting, all of the players get teleported to here, and they can't move. And we can chat. We can say, oh, I forgot I set the timer to 5 seconds. Okay, so this is working so far. And it just crashed. Oh no, it didn't. Good. Okay, so let's, after 5 seconds, we're gonna give the sword back to the imposter. Let's do that. Let's fire another remote event. Game.replicate storage dot add a remote event again to replicate storage. Rename it to end emergency. Game.replicate storage dot end emergency fire server player. And then let me think about this. Enter our script that fires the emergency meeting remote event, which is inside of our thing right here, our emergency meeting module. Enter the script, and we're gonna write game.replicate storage dot emergency and emergency dot on server event connect function player. Connect function player. Local sword is equal to game.replicate storage find first child sword classic sword clone. And then we're gonna loop through every player for I, comma v in pairs game.players get players do. If v find first child imposter value, then sword dot parent is equal to, actually remove this and put it here inside of this if v find first child imposter value. Sword dot parent is equal to v dot backpack. So this should be working. Let's start a 2-player server again. Oh no, not now, I forgot to make the players move. So let's just after we do this for loop, we will local character is equal to v dot character. Just copy this here and paste it here. If v, then local character is equal to v dot character. Remove this line of code. We will set the walk speed to 16, which is the normal walk speed of each player in the game. The round is starting. As you can see, this player is the crewmate, this one is the imposter, and let's click this button, and as you can see we get teleported, and now we can chat hi, and we can't move, and the imposter don't have his oh, it actually gave him 2 swords. Let's try fixing that. We will write if v where is this? We're gonna check if v find first child, if v dot backpack find first child classic sword, then print imposter already have a sword, and then we're gonna put in else sword dot parent is equal to player v dot backpack. Okay, so let's test this. It should be working. I really hope this works from the first time. The round just started. Let's click on this button. As you can see, we can't move, and we can chat, and it will give me a sword. Actually, let me make this longer. Oh, actually, let's make a variable local emergency time is equal to 20, and we're gonna wait emergency time, so it's easier to wait. Instead of each time putting wait 12 or something, we can just write 30 here or 20 here at the top of the script. Let's test this again. I think I made it 20. Yeah, that's good. The game will start in 1 second. Set a emergency meeting. As you can see, we can't move, and we can chat. We can say blue kinda sus, say no, and the imposter don't have a sword anymore. If you're wondering why, okay, so now it gave me a sword, and if you're wondering why I got pushed here, it's because of the other player. We're gonna fix that on a later episode. Let's end the round for now, and after we do that, let's make a frame that will display that we are in a emergency meeting. So add a frame to our main screen GUI. Go to plugin. No, not now. Let's just make this big. And let's add a UI corner to it, and set the corner radius to 20. And also, if you're wondering why I'm using this plugin, it's because it's going to convert the size of the frame to scale instead of offset. As you can see, now I'm on PC, it looks good, but when I go to phone, as you can see, the frame is big, and we don't want that to happen. So we're gonna go to plugins, unit scale conversion, scale. Don't worry, I will leave a link to this plugin, and as you can see now, it gets scaled perfectly. So that's good. Let's make the frame blue, background color, let's make it blue, and let's add a text label to it. Do the same thing, plugin unit scale conversion, let's make it big. Let's make the background transparency to 1, and text scale to true, text color to white, and text to emergency. Let's add a text stroke, transparency to 0, and text stroke, font to Gotham bold, and rename the frame to emergency frame, and make the background transparency to 1, and make sure that the frame is visible. So make sure that this is checked, and make the text transparency of the text label to 1, text transparency, set it to 1, and we will go to this disable chat script, and let me think about this. Emergency time, actually it's in here. I'm gonna put a repeat wait 0.01 local frame is equal to script.parent main emergency frame dot background transparency background transparency is equal to frame dot background transparency minus 0.05 and frame dot text label dot text transparency is equal to frame dot background is equal to frame dot background transparency frame dot text label dot background transparency minus 0.05 frame dot text label dot text stroke transparency this time is equal to frame dot text label dot text stroke transparency text change this to text transparency text stroke transparency minus 0.05 and until script dot parental frame dot text label dot text transparency is greater or equal to than 1 than 0 actually Actually, let me think about this. So if we do that, it should do that until the transparency is less or equal to 0. Okay, so now we're gonna do the opposite of this. So copy this repeat wait loop and paste it here, and change this minus to plus, and this minus to plus, and this minus to plus, and change this to until is greater or equal to 1. So let's test this and see if it's working. Let me firstly test it with one player. Oh, I forgot to set this to 1. Starting 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are the imposter. If I click this, I'm able to chat, and this is messed up. Oh, I know why. I forgot to. Oh, I did add the weights. Why did it do that? Let's remove this for now. We're gonna add the animation on a later episode. We're gonna just make script dot parent dot main dot emergency frame dot visible is equal to true, and go back to our emergency frame, make it visible, make it invisible, and set the background transparency to 0, and the text labels text transparency to 0, and text stroke transparency to 0, and that should be it, I think. Let's make it visible. Okay, so make it invisible and make visible set to true, and then set visible to false, and this should be working. Oh, I'm green. I'm all green. Let's try clicking this. As you can see, I have a sword, but when I click on this, I don't have a sword anymore, and I can't move, and we have this emergency pop-up, and we can write white sus, and everything is working fine. So guys, this is going to be it for today's video. If this video helped, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.